Welcome into Catching Up with Corrin. I'm your host, Corrin Davis, and today I am joined by a very special guest, West Texas A&M University women's basketball coach, Josh Prock. Coach, we appreciate you coming in, chatting, especially in the thick of season. Yeah. It's a grind right now, but you guys are putting up a remarkable year. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. It's a great opportunity to be here today. Really proud of our kids. They've been battling all year long, played tremendous basketball, and they know there's a lot left to play for, and so we're excited about that.
I have to congratulate you on your 100th win at WT. That comes after beating Lubbock Christian, a huge road trip last week, Thursday night. On a normal day, it's a rivalry game. You guys are on the road, hostile territory, but this time the stakes were a little bit higher. You guys are ranked. You guys are undefeated in the Lone Star Conference, so you have a little bit of a target on your back. Winning streak 15 at the time. Lubbock Christian hadn't lost at home in 22 games straight. Yeah. What does a win like that do for your team?
It definitely boosts your confidence. I mean, obviously, Coach Gomez and his program have been tremendous over the years. They've been great. And so we always knew, you look at it, you said 22 in a row. You go back, it's over the last 150. I think they've only lost like 2 or 3 there at home. So we knew it was going to be a hard place to play. But our kids this year have been battle tested. They've played a lot of really good teams. And going into that game, we knew, we play our game. If we can play our game, defend like we want to, rebound like we want to, we felt really good that we could come out on top. And you look at that second half, and our girls really took care of business there.
Yeah, down 38-30. You told me earlier, you said, I'm confident in my girls that they were going to be able to pull it out. A unique trait that your team has is you don't just have 1 or 2 girls who are weapons who can make those big shots and those big plays. You've got girls all over the place who can make things happen. 4 girls walked away scoring in double digits in that game. You had so much confidence in your team. What made you get to that point saying, hey, we're good, take care of business, we've got this thing?
Well, I think that happens from the very beginning of the year, and you start watching your team play and you see the chemistry that they develop. You can tell that these kids love each other. We had a friend of mine who does the chapel for Texas Tech football. He did a chapel for us before we played Lubbock. And he said, he just observed the girls. He said, you can tell how much they love each other. He said, I didn't have to even talk to them yet, but you could tell that. And so it's been, that connection's there. In my 17 years as a head coach, this is the most connected team I've had. And you could just tell by the way they play. They love being around each other. Every day sometimes can become a daily grind a little bit, but they love the grind. They love being there. They love every single moment. So it's just been a lot of fun, and my coaches have done, Coach Sherman and Coach Monroe have done a tremendous job of helping us get them ready for every game. So it's been a lot of fun.
Breaking down this roster, you've got a solid group of girls returning. Randy Harding, Claire Graham, Kyla Kane. Those are just to name a few. And then you have some newbies like Kinley West, who has come and made an immediate impact on the court. What went into curating this year's team?
Well, we looked at last year. We felt like, we wanted to kind of get our culture back and to get back to where we wanted. And we felt like in a lot of ways there's a lot of things fixed last year. We didn't make it as far in the postseason as we wanted to. We got to the second round of the NCAA tournament, but we knew we had a lot of kids coming back. We knew what we had coming in. Like you said, Henley West, and we knew we had a couple transfers coming potentially, like in Kennedy Winfrey, Abby Holder, and some of these kids that we felt like would eventually, end up at WT and stuff like that. So just was kind of a matter of time for that to happen. And so we were excited because we knew the depth we have already here. We knew what was coming in, and so we knew it was going to be a battle every day. And that's what these kids do. They compete against each other every day at practice. They work extremely hard, and they love it. They celebrate the success of others. One of the funnest things to watch about our team is when you watch the bench. Like when somebody makes a basket, the whole bench goes crazy. They absolutely love each other. They love when other people have success.
I love it. Carly Mottenbacher, you could characterize her as a newbie or a returner. Yeah. She was a pivotal player under you for 3 years and then stepped away from the game, and now she's back, a defensive machine, Lone Star Conference Defensive Player of the Week, in fact. What went into that process of getting her to return for another season of Lady Buff basketball?
Yeah, so she helps run the HTO there in Canyon, and of course, run into her quite often. So I think it was January of last year, she started mentioning to me she'd be interested in potentially coming back, and I just told her, I said, Carly, it's on, you have another year, so it's on your timetable. You let me know. And she got to thinking about it and stuff like that and decided to come back. And I think her impact, I think sometimes people look at like scoring and different things like that because, she scored a lot. But I think at the point now where she's at in her career, and I personally, again, this is biased coach, she should have been defensive player every week in the Lone Star Conference. Like if you're truly watching the game, like if I had to coach against her, right? And so like we're scouting, you don't have very many kids defensively that change your scouting report.
Wow.
You just don't.
Yeah.
And so she changes the scouting report because she can get on the other team's best player and completely neutralize her. Whether that's a post or a guard, she can neutralize them. So I think that that's what she's brought. And sometimes, the thing that I love about Carly is, people want scoring, this and that, but she understands the impact that she's making. And of course, they finally recognized her this week for the Defensive Player of the Week in the Lone Star this week.
A long time coming. Like you said, she also had 14 rebounds. Unbelievable. She's a fun player to watch. Another fun player to watch, Henley West, 6'4", 6'5". She can post up, down low, make the shots when needed. She could have played Division I basketball, and she chose to come to WT. I think that speaks a lot about you, your program, the university as a whole. How did you advertise saying, hey, becoming a Lady Buff is the best decision you can make in your collegiate career?
Yeah, we knew about her when she was a sophomore in high school. So we started talking to her a little bit. And then as a junior, she actually visited WT. And I'm going to give a big shout out to our ag department. I mean, as everybody knows, WT's ag department is second to none. Like when they, you can tell them to get on a kid and they're going to get on them.
Love it.
And a lot of times you're going to get that kid because of the way they recruit. So. But our ag department is fantastic, and she comes from a small community there in western Oklahoma, Hammond, and she comes from a farming community, and that's what her family does. So ag was very, very important to her, and so that was a big reason. She chose WT as well too, was our ag department. But she also saw the basketball program and loved being a part of it, and she's been fantastic. I mean, she's slowly getting better every game too, and I think people are starting to see that now. She's gotten to a point where now on the scouting report, other teams are like, how do we match up with her? We're not sure, because, she's very unique. Like you said, she's 6'5". There's not a lot of 6'5" kids out there. Plus, it's fun to watch her at our last home game against St. Mary's where she hit those 2 threes. And I think people can be surprised about that, Corrin. But I can tell you this, in a three-point contest with our team, I'm not so sure that several of us don't take Henley West.
Wow.
She can really, really shoot it out there. So that didn't necessarily surprise us. We were smiling because we were like, yeah, we knew that was coming. So.
Yeah, that's saying a lot because you got a lot of sharp shooters on your team who can make some big three-pointers.
Yes, they can.
You told me earlier, from a confidence perspective, this is the most confident you have felt about a team in your entire career. Why is that?
I think when you see how connected a group is and you see how much they love each other, our 3 mantras of our program, our pillars are love, serve, and care, right? And when you see how much these kids do love each other, they serve each other, they care for each other, that lends to the confidence that we have. And so we're excited to see that on a daily basis with these kids. That's what, I go home every day and I get so much joy out of that, just because you want these kids to do that, because they take that beyond basketball too.
Absolutely.
And we always really try to harp on our kids, serving each other, serving other people is what life is about. So, and they get that and they represent that on a daily basis.
I love it. I think some of the most important life lessons can be taken away from college sports.
Sure.
Absolutely. You got 7 girls on your roster. 7 local girls on your roster. We're just breaking down the whole roster.
Yeah.
Every time I'm at a girls' high school basketball game, I feel like I see you in the stands. You're watching, you're recruiting, you're just looking at the next generation of talent. How important is it for you to recruit local?
Well, first of all, you can look at the state rankings, right, and the girls' basketball. And
Yes.
it's just littered with, Panhandle teams all over the place. And so Panhandle is second to none when it comes to girls basketball. 1, because of the talent, and then 2, there's great coaches. I mean, you look at Jeff Williams over at Amarillo High, the Lombards at Canyon. That speaks for itself.
Oh, yeah.
And Zach over at Tascosa's take over for Coach Summerall and just kept that train rolling. I mean, I could name a bunch of coach down at Nazareth. You've got Eric Schilling down there. You've got all kinds of coaches that are just phenomenal everywhere. So that helps, because when we get kids from the Panhandle, I call it their right, in a sense, where they know how to play. Like, they know how to get to help side. They know how to play because these coaches are so good. So you got a level of understanding of the game and how much these kids love the game. But when I first got here, Corrin, we wanted to put a fence around this area, meaning basically just west of Wichita Falls, all the way down to Lubbock, all the way up to the Texas Panhandle, all the way up north, a little bit of Oklahoma, and just kind of put a fence around this area and keep the best kids. Because that's what these kids should want to go to WT. I mean, it's a great school, fantastic education, got great support. As a matter of fact, huge shout out to Buff Nation. When we go play at Lubbock on Thursday last week, not only did they turn out, I mean, there was 100, 200 people there.
Wow.
Corrin, they completely shut down the LCU crowd. I mean, the LCU crowd could not compete with how loud our people were.
Like the Indiana fans
100%.
at Miami last night.
100%. It was amazing. And so huge shout out. So we're going to actually call them out again. We'd love to get them, we only got another 90 miles south of here on Thursday. We'd love for Buff Nation to come take over Greyhound Arena as well, too. So hopefully we can get them down there.
I love it. I love it. That just shows how passionate they are and how much they care about you guys. I think that's so important that they invest the way that they do. Looking at your schedule, you've only lost one game, first game of the season against Grand Valley State, #1 team in the country, defending national champions. Why was it important that you scheduled them the first game of the year?
Well, we played in those tip-off classics, and the gentleman that ran it, I'd been on the national committee, and the Elite Eight was in St. Joseph's before, so I knew Brett pretty well, and he asked me, he said, "Hey, I got Grand Valley coming. What's your thought?" I said, "I'll play them." We always have a mantra too in our program, respect everyone but fear no one. We're going to respect everyone. It doesn't matter the opponent, we respect you. But we're also not going to fear you. We're going to play you. So why not test yourself against, right now the best. And I thought in that first game, and we, in the fourth quarter, I think we had it down to 4 or 5 points. I thought we had a legit chance to get in there and win. And I was like, girls, you never know. You may see them down the road again. I mean, because you just never know how the season turns out. But when I also knew, you asked the question earlier, Corrin, too, and it was about scheduling. We also schedule extremely tough exhibition games.
Yes.
We played, obviously, Baylor, Arizona, and SMU, and obviously fortunate enough to beat Arizona this year. I mean, we're playing Arizona. This is where I knew this team had a chance to be special, and we're in the second half, and we're up 20 on Arizona. And I didn't even know, because, when I'm coaching those exhibition games, Corrin, I'm just focused on us getting better. I don't care about the score,
Sure.
I was like, wow, I looked up the score, and I was like, wow, we're winning. Not only are we winning, we got a good lead and stuff. So, but scheduling, there's an art to it, and you want to schedule as tough a competition as you can, and you try to schedule it the right way. It's hard sometimes at Division II because sometimes you rotate home games and you don't know whether you're going to get this home game or not. So, but we wanted to play Grand Valley, and then of course we played Northwest Missouri, another really good MIAA team, and then turn around and play Colorado Mesa, here at home, and also played Metro State. And Colorado Mesa, Corrin, they've only lost one game, and that's to us.
Wow.
So they're right there with us in this region. So it has been a challenging schedule. And then, of course, the Lone Star, there's no forgiveness in it. It's just tough games left and right.
Did you think after that loss to Grand Valley State that your team was going to make the run that they have?
It's a great question. I told our coaches after this, I said, I can see a scenario where we start making a serious run. I mean, I really do, because you could tell in the Grand Valley game, it was just little things, just boom, boom. We get those things fixed. It's going to be hard, too, by tomorrow, just because we don't have any practice time. But we'll get these things fixed, and these kids will get it turned around. And then so you beat Northwest Missouri. You turn around, you play a really good Mesa team. And honestly, from start to finish, they pretty much handled, Colorado Mesa. And then you played a Metro State team. And again, I can go down the list. But one of the things that really impressed me is we were able to go to Hawaii over Christmas break. And, huge shout out to our supporters and our administration at WT for helping us make all that happen. But we're playing Ferris State, who was, I think, ranked 23rd at the time. And when we were over in Hawaii, we got to do the Pearl Harbor, the Diamond Head Trail. We went to a luau, so we got to do some fun things to start the trip. So you're like, okay, we start the trip this way, but now we got to play at the end of the trip.
Sure.
Where's our maturity level? Can we handle all that? And so we're playing Ferris State, and at the end of the first half, we're up 40-19.
Wow.
And it really could have been 40-15 because there was a couple possessions where they made late shot clock shots, and so I was just very impressed with our team because of how they handled that trip. Because, look, you're in Hawaii, right? I mean,
yes.
Who's not going to have fun?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Now, the other team has to handle it the same way, so it's not just our kids. But we handled a top 25 team, and then they turn around and play Hawaii Pacific, handled them, and then came back after the break, and we had a little bit of an interesting road trip I can tell you about if you want to Sol Ross and Western.
I think I might have heard that one through Max. He might have told me a little bit about that.
Yeah. It was an interesting road trip. We had a little bus delay, I should say, but girls handled that like champs, and then came back home and beat St. Mary and St. Ed's, and of course this last road trip. So just really pleased with where we're at, but a lot of work still to do.
2022 was the last time you guys made it to the Elite Eight. Do you believe that this group can make a deep playoff push like that one?
Yeah, I do. I think this team can. You know, it's going to take a lot of work, and these kids know that. That's the beautiful thing about it. You know, we talk about, you know, as coaches, like we can see ourselves here or there. These girls so focused right now, and if you were to ask that question, they're like, it's Eastern New Mexico, you know.
Wow.
And so they are literally a week at a time. You know, I think if you know, true serum them all, they would feel like, yeah, we got a chance to make a deep run. But at the same time, like, they really are focused game to game. Okay. And so that's fun. But this team is a connected group. So when you get it doesn't always, the most talented teams don't always get there. You know that, you've been around sports a long time. But when you have a talented team plus a connected group, that's what makes it a lot of fun.
That's super special. I know you said that your girls take everything game by game, play by play, and I think that's so important. I'd be remiss to think that you haven't had your eyes on that Texas women's game in a little over a week. They're ranked number 3 right now, but they're coming right here to Canyon.
Yeah.
Based on where your team is at, how do you feel about that matchup?
Yeah, it's going to be, I mean, Coach Gilson's, I mean, you look at her track record over the last 4 or 5 years, and, you know, they've been one of the standards here in the Lone Star Conference and done a fantastic job. So that's going to be a tough game. I think we match up well with them. I mean, we've been able to watch a little bit of film just because, you know, they played some similar opponents to who we've, you know, watched previously to some of our games. And so they're very talented. It's going to be challenging. I mean, the game before that's going to be challenging as well, too. You got UT Tyler, who's been really good lately, too. So, like I said earlier, the Lone Star, there's no forgiveness in it. I mean, whether you're playing us or Eastern or Lubbock or Tyler or Texas Women's or St. Mary St. Ed's, continue down the list, Angelo State. I mean, there's all kinds of tough opponents in this league, and you better be ready to play.
Absolutely. And Lone Star Conference action continues for you guys Thursday at 6:30 in Portales. Like you said, Buff Nation show out, community show out, support WT, and then also the huge game next Saturday at the FUB against Texas Women's tip-off for 1 o'clock. It's going to be a great one. I'm excited for that as well. But Coach Prock, I appreciate the time today. I'm looking forward to all that you guys continue to accomplish this season. You guys have put up a remarkable year. Well,
thank you for your time. I mean, this is a great opportunity to come out here and visit with you and visit with the rest of the Amarillo. I mean, we've always said, Corrin, like, this is Amarillo Canyon to Panhandle's team.
Absolutely.
I mean, you look at our roster, we've got kids littered all over the place, and we're still gonna make that a priority. So, you know, hopefully people can get the opportunity to come out and watch these kids because they followed them all the way through high school, and, you know, come watch them for a couple of games because they're a fun group to watch. Absolutely, they sure are. We appreciate you, and good luck on Thursday, and good luck the rest of the way. Thank you, Corrin. Thank you guys for tuning in to this week's episode of Catching Up with Corrin, and we will see you next time.